In today's video, we're going to show you how to set up an SSH server in Windows. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, there's a couple of reasons, and one is for tunneling your web connections through it, which we have another video on. Some other reasons would be for secure FTP and SSH to a server, which is more secure than Telnet. So first, go ahead and launch whatever your web browser is, and put in the URL that's in the description for this video and go into the site. This is the link for CopSSH, CopSSH. This is basically an implementation of OpenSSH. Just go ahead and click on the newest link and the installer. It's an implementation of OpenSSH, but it's specifically designed to be installed within Windows, and it just makes it a lot easier. Just save the file in any default location. Once the download is complete, just go ahead and open up the zip file, and we're just going to extract that to the hard drive. I'm just going to extract it into a temporary directory, and once that's extracted, it's just one installer. Just go out to the directory and launch the installer. Go ahead and open it. Give it a few seconds and it'll start popping up with the installation screens here. Go ahead and hit next on this first window. This is the license agreement, agree, and just select the default installation location. For this entry, you probably want to use a user instead of the default that it puts in here. If you use the default that's in the software, it's actually going to create another user in Windows. So if you're using Windows 7 or Vista, at the login screen, you're going to see an extra user in there. So you're better off just putting in a user in here that has admin rights. I assume it's the user that you're installing the software with. So go put the username and password in, hit install, and it's going to go through. I'm going to speed this up a little bit so you don't have to sit through the whole installation process. This takes a few minutes, but we'll skip through it pretty quickly here and get to the end of the installation. Just go ahead and hit OK to install the service. And it's going to complete the installation, and in just a few seconds we'll be all done. And that's it. We can go ahead and hit the close button, and then we have to go and launch the activated user. That's what that previous message box was telling us, that there's no activated users. So go ahead and activate a user, and then select whichever users you're going to want to access this SSH connection. In this case, I'm going to use my user Steve, and I'm just going to leave all the defaults and hit next, and then I'm going to type in a passphrase. This is actually different than your password, so go ahead and hit enter a passphrase in here that you want to use, and then click activate, and that user will be good to go as far as having access to your SSH server. Takes a few seconds to go through. It's telling you it was successful and you're all set to make your SSH connection. So let's go now and open up PuTTY, and we're just going to run it, and then we're going to connect to localhost, which just loops back to the machine. This is just to show you that the service is running and verify that we configured it correctly. It's going to pop up with a certificate screen here because you haven't connected to the server yet. Click yes. You'll only get that the first time. Put in your username and password. And when you get to the command prompt, you can do an ls at this point and view the directory. You're connected at this point and you're ready to do your tunneling or secure FTP or whatever. So let's exit out of there, because now we need to go into your router, assuming you're doing this at home, and do some port forwarding. port forwarding basically takes an incoming port on your that's connecting to your network and forwards it to a machine on that particular port. We're going to go into my router. It's most likely going to look different on the router you have. I would suggest you just check the documentation for your router and look for port forwarding to find out where you go on your router to set that up. In my router, I go and log in here, and then I go to the applications and gaming section to set up the port forwarding. Now, as you can see, I already have it in here. The top entry is what we're looking at. It's forwarding port 22, which is the SSH port, to port 22, and it's on the machine 192.168.1.250, which is the server I have my SSH on. That's all there is to it. You should be able to access that machine from anywhere outside or inside your network, and you can do your secure FTP or tunneling. We have another video on the tunneling. Be sure to check that out on learnfilms.com. And if you have any suggestions or questions or comments, please feel free to drop us a line. Thanks for watching the video, and hope to see you again.